it's common to want to add a number to the a variable like this. A equals a plus a new value 15. A equals a plus add on the existing value for a, which is in our case 5, add the value of 15 to it. So a is no longer 5, it has now the value of 20. So we're just adding 15 to whatever the previously value a has stored in. And we do the same for b and for c. This is such a common pattern that there's a shortcut to it. It's the plus equals operator. So instead of a equals a plus 15, we can do the following. But let me first show you the console log so that you don't have to believe my word for it and instead just see the result in the console. So if I say console.log and now type a and I put a semicolon, and if I now click on run, we see we have 20 in the console. So if I now clear the console and instead of saying a equals a plus 15, we can delete this and we can say a plus equals 15. So this line of code, it's the same as this one. It's the equivalent. But as you see, it's much faster and like I said, it's a common shortcut in programming. So we have cleared the console and let me show you. If I now click on run, we see 20 again. We can do also the same for the b and the c variable, just for practice. So instead of saying b equals 7 plus b, we can delete this. But let me first do the console log for you. So console.log b, and the same here for console.log c. And if you are not sure which of these is gonna show in the console for whatever reason, you can do this. You can do 2 quotation marks and say here C, double point, and here a plus sign. And the same here. So quotation marks, B, double point, plus, and the same here. So let's say A, double points, and plus. And if I now clear the console again, click on run. Oh, I made a misspelling. If I now click on run, we see A is 20, B is 25, and C is 15. So let's change this. So instead of B equals 7 plus B, we can say B plus equals 7. And instead of C equals C plus 4, we can just say C plus equals 4. And if we now don't delete the console, just to see the previous print in the console, we don't clear it, we let it be. And if I now click on run again, we see we got the same results as previously. A is 20, B is 25, C is 15. And if we compare the outcomes in the console, we see it's the same. So this was about augmented addition, and I see you guys in the next lecture. Previously we learned about plus equals. Minus equals does the same thing but subtracting. So this says A equals A minus 2. We started here for the A variable with a value of 5. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So we can shorten this code, this line of code, like we did with the plus operator. So let's clear the console first, and now let's output first the results in the console before shorten them. So if I now click on run, we see A has the value of 3, B has the value of 18, and C has the value of 4. So now let's do the same what we did previously in the previous lecture. So instead of saying A equals A minus 2, let's say A minus equals 2. Instead of saying, oops, and I did here a misspelling, shouldn't be A here, it shouldn't be B here. So instead of saying b equals b minus 12, and I think maybe we will get a different output. Let me check this first. Yeah, I did here a mistake. So instead of b, I set here a. So let's clear that again. Let's change that back the way it was, just because of you. Now everything is okay. Let me double check. Yes. So now we click on run. So we have the original line of code. And now let's change it again. So instead of a equals a minus 2, we can say a minus equals 2. Instead of saying b equals b minus 12, we can say b minus equals 12. And instead of saying c equals c minus 7, we can say c minus equals 7. Okay, if I now click on run, we get the same results as previously. And don't get me wrong, it's nothing wrong if you feel better for yourself typing things like this, for example. It's fully okay. This is just more often used. It's because it's a lot faster to write, and yeah, it's like a hotkey. So why do the extra work? I mean, it's not really an extra work. It's just typing 3-4 times more on the keyboard. But yeah, if you want to use this, you can do it. But it's more common to see such lines, but it's more common to see code written that way. So that was about augmented subtraction in JavaScript, and I will see you in the next lecture. Here we go again. Here we have a equals a times 7. Well, we can do the same thing as before. We can shorten this to just saying a multiply equals 7. We can say here b multiply equals 4, and we can say here c multiply equals 9. And if I now click on run, and I forgot to put a console log between them, so let me quickly add them. And if I now clear the console and click again on run, we see 35 for a, 72 for b, and 2.5. And I did a mistake here, so my bad, excuse me. Clear the console again, click on run. So now we have the right outcome. 35, 7 times 5 is 35, that's correct. 4 times 18 is 72, it's also correct. And 9 times 11.5 is 103.5, which is also correct. So that was about augmented multiplication in JavaScript, and I will see you in the next lecture. And there's also divide equal. So a equals a divided by 14. Let me put a console.log. So let's first of all clear the console, click on run. We see 3.57, 61 point, a lot of 6 and 4, and 3.42, which is okay. And we can also do the same shortcut for the divide sign. So instead of saying a equals a divided by 14, we can just say a divided equals 14. We can also do the same for b. So instead of b equals b divided by 3, we can say divided equals 3. And the same for c. So instead of c equals c divided by 7, we can say c divided equals 7. And if we now click on run, we have the same outcome like previously, and we can use the shortcut also for dividing numbers. So this was about augmented division in JavaScript, and I will see you in the next lecture.